Hello one, hello all, it is the gothiest ghost of them all, Caspa in the flesh, and it's time for a review of Bjork-Fossora. And Bjork is a Icelandic pop singer. As far as pop goes, as far as an artist goes, as far as a vocalist goes, she is in my top 5. No question about that. One of the greats, one of the goats, and I have been yearning. Her fans have been yearning for a new album from her. It's been a good 5 years. 5 years now. And Bjork has always consistently brought us quality. And I feel like from her debut, we got the start of greatness with that. You know, very solid experience of house and dance pop, art pop, to her very colorful, very profound, very lush, and very passionate post-album. Great album. And her very ethereal, very atmospheric, homogenic. Great album. Check that out. Followed by my personal favorite, the otherworldly, the very loving, the adoring Vespertine. Great album. Now, the album that she has made it for, unfortunately, did not last with her. And that's unfortunate. And we later on got the after effects on that, after feelings on Volnicura. But before that, we had the very acapella, very experimental. Why am I saying very acapella? Because it is acapella. Medulla, where she's just making music with her mouth, and it's great. And Biophilia, and also Utopia. So 5 years have passed, and we have finally got a new album from her. And I gotta be honest, very honest, I have listened to this thing 6 times, and with every listen, I've just become more and more underwhelmed. I'm sorry. And I love Bjork. I do. But this album right here could have had more. Could have had more progression in terms of production. More development in terms of vocal performance on here. Not saying development with Bjork's singing career. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying on the songs. These songs in particular, I don't feel I'm getting much of progression here. I don't feel I'm getting much of a build here. And it sucks because I do love the sentiment here. I do love the message and narrative of motherhood, the trials and tribulations of motherhood, the joys of it, the heartbreak of it. And I also like her inclusion of Gabbor and Deconstructed Club, but there's just not enough of that. There's basically a lot of classical style of instrumentation here, but there's really nothing else, with the exception of a few highlights. And there are highlights on here. Don't worry about that. Don't freak the fuck out. There is highlights on here. Ancestress, a very robust cut with these chimes coalescing very well with these beautiful strings. And there's some nice fills as well with pulsating touches of bass, and definitely an experience of majesty and a journey of enchantment while delivering a very endearing expression of motherhood. And with her daughter, no less, while having very intricate, enticing textures. And I wish there was more tracks like this. And the track Fungal City is very graceful, very nimble, and also we get pounding drums in the development of this. I would have wanted more of this, but unfortunately we don't get that. And also there's a very nice inclusion of the harmonious vocals from Serpent with Feet. And I feel this duet ends up a great one. Really adds a nice flow to the album. And this album does have a nice flow. I will say that. It does have a nice flow to it. The tracks do flow together nicely. I just wish they weren't so non-eventful. I wish there was more here. And like I said, Bjork has always been a very expressive singer, very poetic lyricist. But here, I am just not finding myself engaged consistently. Like, is there pounding on some tracks I found overwhelming? Yes. Are some parts whimsical and gorgeous? Yes. But there could have been much more here. There could have been like some bridges, some more intricate passages, some more risks taken vocally from Bjork. But we don't really get that. It just feels like theater, but not good theater. We're not talking about The Turning Wheel here, which is an album inspired by Bjork. If you listen closely, there's like a Kate Bush, Bjork influence there. Great album. Probably my album of the decade. Maybe. But yeah, and another unforgivable moment here. Trölla-Gabba. I feel like it was going for spooky, but instead we got cheesy. It just sounds really cheap, really cheesy. The vocals going boo and these faint drums just really left me scratching my head. I'm like, is this, what is this? It's going for a purpose. And I feel the purpose is to make it unsettling, but it is unsettling because I want to skip to the next track because it's making me just cringe. And I don't think that's what they were going for. But Freefall, though, is a very beautiful, very emotional, very potent track with very heartfelt, endearing, poetic lyrics. This was great. This was amazing. And this was one of the best Bjork has done in a while. And the swelling strings, the like plucky pacing of the strings across the track, it's great. And creating some fast strumming too at the end. And that's what I'm talking about. That's a build right there. That's great. But Jesus Christ. The closer, unfortunately, does not stick the landing for me. Are there any really compelling vocals to end it off? No. Is there a giant send-off instrumentation-wise? No. So yeah, I mean, overall, the theme is definitely there. The theme is certainly consistent. The vocal talent is consistent. But I guess where this album falters is production, breaking some new ground, like emotional potency. And I feel like her heart, like she really wanted to make something with a powerful message. I just feel it could have been delivered better. And I'm sorry, but I have to give this album, the enjoyment I'm feeling of this album is a 2.5 out of 5. Sorry, that's how I'm feeling. But that does not take away. It does not take away the GOAT level of Bjork. Bjork is still top 5, and she has put out albums a lot of artists can't touch. But that's just my opinion. You can take my opinion with a grain of salt. But if you've checked this out, what did you think of it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? And that is it. Caspa, Gothic Ghost, Bjork-Fossora. Till we meet again.